Armchair.
There's something kind of about a kid that's never played baseball.
We have been hoodwinked, bamboozled, and flat out deceived.
Why did you get so drunk?
You got drunk. I'm just really exhausted.
What's in that cup?
Armor Cokes.
Do you have any idea how important this is? We're trying to save the pub cup. Really? This is what you're doing? This is what you're doing?
Chief, what do you want to do tonight?
The same thing we do every night. Try to take over the world.
106 miles to Chicago. We got a full tank of gas, half a pack of cigarettes. It's dark, and we're wearing sunglasses. Hit it.
Armchair.
YouTube Live.
Radio station.
The radio station you can call your own. Do you know what listeners like about our station?
I like everything.
It's always on my radio.
We never stop the music, except for now, when I talk.
Armchair.
Do you think you can get me a tape of the show?
What on earth for?
Well, how often do you get to hear your son on the radio?
I'm on the radio every day.
You're listening to WQVZ, 1700 AM Mission Radio.
For me and the Lord, we got an understanding. We're on a mission from God.
No one talks in my meeting. No one! Think you can run this? If you could, then I wouldn't be here. Because I'm sick and tired of our football team getting pushed all over the field. I want precision. This is an institution of learning, ladies and gentlemen. You've tried it your way for years. They've given me less than 1 year to turn this place around. Forget about the way it used to be. This is not a damn democracy. We are in a state of emergency, and my word is law.
10 years ago, a crack commando unit was sent to prison by a military court for a crime they didn't commit. These men promptly escaped from maximum security stockade. Today, still wanted by the government, they survive as soldiers of fortune. If you have a problem, if no one else can help, and if you can find them, maybe you can hire...
Armchair.
Community Access Channel.
He's the armchair quarterback. He's full of beer and he's full of snacks. He's the all-American man. Yeah, the armchair quarterback.
Hey, howdy, hi, and how the hell are you? Welcome to Armchair Quarterbacks Today here on Armchair Quarterback Radio. Welcoming in Mr. Doug and Bobby the Kid. Guess he can't be called the Kid anymore. He's not a kid. Bobby with Kid. How y'all doing today, gentlemen?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great
as well. Doing as good as I can. I know that Cardinals loss was nothing short of tragic last week, but we'll get into that.
You being our resident Cardinal fan, walk us through what the hell was going on through your mind when that took place.
Okay, so when he threw the ball out of the back of the end zone, I saw him celebrate. The crowd was going crazy and everything. I knew immediately. I was like, that might not be a touchdown. And I started getting a little bit worried. But we still had a 2-touchdown, or not even a 2-touchdown lead. It was a 16-point lead, which ended up they needed to score 3 times in the end in order to win that game. So I had confidence that, you know what, still a sizable lead that we have, we'll be all right. They haven't got anything going on offense. They had 3 points at the time. We'll be good. And then they marched down the field immediately after that fumble out of the back of the end zone. And at that point, I knew the game was over. I knew we had lost that game because throughout
Stop
this
right
year,
there. Stop right there. There's a huge controversy going on about sorry if I look off to the side, but that's where I can see y'all.
Yeah.
There's a huge controversy going on where the coach Gannon, I always want to call him Rich Gannon because I'm thinking of the quarterback. Is there any relation, by the way, between those two?
I don't think so, no.
I don't think there is either, but I don't know if you found something through a rabbit hole. But Gannon comes over, yells at him, just kind of gives him a pop on the chest. Everyone's blown out of proportion, in my opinion, on that end, as far as acting like did he punch it? Because you're getting clickbait says that he assaulted him and all that. He didn't assault anybody. He punched him because you can tell he yelled at him and said, "You got to hold on to the ball," probably essentially, right? Yeah. It was just kind of like wake up, right? It wasn't a damn punch. It was more of a pack like that on the shoulder. So people are, but. What's going on in your mind when you hear about that, or did you see it live? Because I was calling a game at the time, so it was in the background, but I never saw that.
Yeah. I didn't see the interaction live. They didn't show that. That didn't come out until after the game.
Okay.
Until the day after, I think, actually. But I'm in the same boat as you. I mean, we're not talking about like if he went up and punched DiMercato across the jaw, then sure, yeah, that would be a bit ridiculous. But I think people are also forgetting these guys are wearing like shoulder pads that extend down to the chest. So he's hitting him on the chest pad area. He's not hitting him like clean on the chest or anything. He's just giving him a pop on the chest and walking off. I don't think it was worth all the retaliation that it deserved, that it got. I don't think it was that serious.
Totally different reasons, right?
What?
I said you want to fire him for totally different reasons.
Absolutely. Yeah, I don't care about that. In fact, that doesn't concern me at all. I mean, maybe the only thing that I worry about with that is maybe some of the locker rooms split on it, and that could cause some division in the locker room. But these are grown men. They're athletes who hit each other every day. I don't think they care about a little pop on the chest as much as the media does. I'm sure it's something that's already been. It was probably briefly discussed, and it's blown over by now.
Oh my God! If this summer of George Floyd, there have been marches already outside the Arizona.
Yeah, they've been talking to even today. They're talking about it because the Cardinals organization fined him $100,000 for it,
which I think is ridiculous. I think that's a poor reflection on the organization. If the league fined him, there's nothing you can do about it. But for the team to fine him,
put it this way, I don't think you hear spit about it if Mike Tomlin did that to Aaron Rodgers.
Probably, yeah.
No, I mean, I'm serious because not only does the flip script, but also remember the media doesn't like Aaron Rodgers because of his non-COVID stuff. So it's just the whole thing's asinine to me. I mean, it's probably a drop in the bucket. I get it because Gannon's making quite a bit of money. And even if he gets canned, he's going to continue to make quite a bit of money.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I can see the organization being able to use this as, hey man, we found it out. We found a loophole, and I get part of it, but I think it's unwarranted.
I'm with you. Yeah, I'm with you. And I don't think he's gonna get fired this year. I'm not. This team has shown a habit of hanging on to coaches way longer than they need to be here. I know Cliff Kingsbury's having some success in Washington, but he was not a good head coach. And they let that experiment go on way too long. So I think Gannon's, unless it's really disastrous the back half of this year, if we finish anywhere near 500, I think he keeps his job for another year. But I do think the offensive coordinator, I think he's done.
All right. Well, we move on from that. The next thing on the docket that we're going to hit up, Mark Sanchez. Doug, I'll let you lead us off on this. Is this guy ever going to resurface again in any kind of football world job? Because I think he's cooked.
Oh, he's finished. As soon as they find out that he's had drinking in the past and the lawsuit that's sitting on the table now, and just the pictures of the guy that he beat up, just flowing over the internet all the time. No, he's finished. He's a big liability. And as soon as they just do discovery on this lawsuit that the guy that got hit, that he beat up, and they find anything from his college days, him drinking, excessive drinking, Fox is going to have to pay out a lot of money to this gentleman. So no, I
don't understand, why is Fox Sports on the hook for what Mark Sanchez does in a parking lot off duty?
Well, the idea in this particular case is the fact when are you, and this goes to India, and I'm not sure about Indiana law, but I do know that when you work for a corporation like Fox and you're a personality, you're responsible for your actions 24/7. What you do in public, how you engage with people, all comes under a clause that a lot of people sign when they're stars or celebrities or whatever.
I get why he would get fired. I'm saying, why the hell does Fox have to pay some guy that Mark Sanchez assaulted when he was off duty? He didn't beat the hell out of him on air, and Fox reared him off. You know what I mean? Like it's absurd, is what it is.
If if this guy can prove, and that's why they filed the lawsuit right now. That's why they did it as quick as they did, because any emails, which is what they're going to do. They're going to look at the other guys that he was with who he's drinking. Why was he left alone on a street corner drinking, drunk as he was?
Why is that Fox's problem? That's what I'm saying. Fox,
because he works for Fox.
But why does Fox have to give two craps about? I mean, it's on his off day. What all of a sudden you got to hire security to follow everybody around always?
I can tell you from personal experience years ago, they do that with NFL players when they're in town for a game. I worked at a place where the Cincinnati Bengals were in town playing the Jaguars. They had handlers watching everything that players do because
that's totally different. I'm telling you, there's no basis, no merit. There's nothing that's going to stipulate that Fox had anything to do with what Mark Sanchez was doing. I think now the back alley, that wasn't Fox's. I don't believe that Fox owned that building. Fox Sports owned that building.
No, it's in between two hotels there in Indianapolis.
Right. So that would be the only reason why you could put. Now you could sue the hotels. I don't know if you're going to get anything out of it, but at the end of the day, this is going to fall. I guarantee you, this is not going to fall on Fox. First of all, they're going to have insurance to cover their ass on any of this. But second of all, that guy's just grasping at straws. He's going to be able to rake Mark Sanchez over the coals.
Oh, yes, that's true.
But Fox Sports is not on the damn. It's absurd for that to even get. That was getting brought in because he obviously has an ambulance chaser that's as an attorney, and he's just grasping at straws trying to get some kind of payday everywhere. But there's no way in hell that a television studio has anything to do with what one of the guys they hired off duty out of town, evidently drunk as Cootie Brown or something's wrong with him because he's beating the hell out of a 69-year-old man because he won't move his Uber car, Uber truck, whatever the hell kind of vehicle it was. I was told that the guy was delivering food. I don't know if that was true or not.
No, what he was, just to clarify that, you ever work a restaurant and people pick up your old oil from your kitchens?
Yeah,
that's what he was doing. That's what he was there doing.
Well, regardless,
that's what they say. But all I'm gonna say is the reason why the suit. I understand the strategy on his part and this ambulance chase's part, getting this lawsuit filed now, because now the point of discovery becomes now before anybody can erase any emails or anybody else can cover their butts. It starts a discovery process right here and then. So basically anybody's cell phones can be seized, things like that. So the discovery part of the lawsuit starts quicker.
Gotcha. Well, I mean, I understand that, but Fox ain't gonna be on the hook on anything.
They're not. I mean, I hear what you're saying, but
they're not. But they may help pay off just to get the thing to go away, just because they don't want it in the news. But they're not on the hook for anything. It's. I don't like the sleaziness of it. I understand why he should be suing Mark Sanchez. I don't
personally, yeah.
Mark Sanchez just butt fumbled his career, is what he did.
Looks like John has a pretty good explanation of what he's getting sued or what Fox is getting sued for in the chat.
That wasn't a Fox event, though. That's the thing.
But he was in town on Fox Business.
Yeah, he was in town, but he was not at a Fox event. If they were doing the show that day in that area, I get it. It's still a long stretch, a long reach. But
all they have, the thing that would make it nasty,
the day after,
go ahead.
Calling the game until the day after, or 2 days, essentially 2 days after, because it happened on Friday night going into Saturday morning. He was calling the game on Sunday afternoon. So, anyways,
what was John's explanation?
He said they're suing for negligent hiring, retention, supervision of Sanchez.
Yeah, that's the supervision thing that I was talking about.
Which I don't know if they'll win anything off
once
of that.
Again, you're not supervising someone who's off work. It's just it's nonsense.
I don't think they'll win anything.
Any lawyer worth their salt's going to get that thrown out. But I understand of trying to get the discovery, because you get discovery. Maybe someone's got some pics of their junk going the wrong direction, and they're like, "Oh, what's this guy want? Let's talk about it." Because I'm not saying I did anything, but I did other things, and let's just cool off before we get. I don't want to get into do you recall stage. Next thing on the docket, Bill Belichick, absolute disaster. Called this back in the spring. Said there was no way in hell he was going to rebuild North Carolina football. Then you saw the nonsense with his girlfriend barking orders during the CBS interview where she was like, "We're not going to talk about that." And you see her constantly showing up at the practices. Looks like his damn granddaughter out there asking for allowance. And now everyone's shocked that this hasn't worked out. There is a report out that says so the next time North Carolina plays a football game is next Saturday. Doug, you lived in North Carolina. You've been named on the lawsuit because North Carolina football is liable on your end because you let it go to a disaster at some point. You lived in the state. They went out and got an ambulance chasing a lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
But seriously, what is going on is there's a report out there that says that when they play Cal next Saturday, there's a very good chance that Bill Belichick's not on the sidelines. That is wild considering he just got started.
Yeah.
What say y'all? Y'all got any?
We knew this. We talked about. Oh, I was going to say in the preseason we were talking about ACC football. We knew this dumpster fire was coming.
Yeah.
We saw this from week one. I mean, he was practically. What did we say? He was practically a guy in a bathrobe on the sidelines. How mentally he was just out of it. No, I'm not shocked. Nobody should be shocked by this.
Well, and also college football is a different world than the NFL. That's why you don't see coaches go from one to another and translate very well. But on top of that, you could see from the beginning that this was that he had no business being there. I mean, week one, he had his is it fiance now or whatever she is to him. She was around on the sidelines during the game, talking to him and stuff, asking him for stuff. It's ridiculous. It was a clown show from the beginning, and it was pretty obvious. So
yeah, I thought you was gonna.
I would be surprised if they're able to get out of that contract. I don't know. Maybe it'll be a mutual thing, but I'll be surprised if they're able to get out of it by the next game. But still,
someone brought up something this morning I hadn't even thought about. Do you know Bill Belichick has had one winning season in the world of football since 2019?
It's looking bad for his legacy. It's looking bad for his legacy.
2019.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's ruined his legacy.
Yeah.
You can't take away the 6 Super Bowls, But the fans can roll their eyes and go, "Well, it was all Brady."
It was all Brady, especially because Brady went to Tampa and won one.
I don't believe that at all because I think it takes 2 to build that kind of chance. More than 2, but for the argument. But as you get further and further away from it, fans are going to forget that. And your average fan, your average Joe Six-Pack is going to go, "Yeah, I told you, man, it was all Brady." Even though back when Brady left, they're like, "It's all Belichick. He's never going to win one." Then he wins one in Tampa, and he goes like, "Nah, it's all Brady." So anyways, but what a disaster that is. And one last thing before we get to cracking, Bad Bunny, Super Bowl. What the hell is going on here? So it's funny because I was explaining to my wife what was going on with the Super Bowl yesterday. And she's like, "What the hell?" And so for folks who don't understand, Bad Bunny raps in Spanish. He's from Puerto Rico. He claims he's not doing any shows in the United States because of ICE. So, you got to really put your boots on to walk through this thick line of bull crap that he's giving everybody. By the way, he showed up in New York for Saturday Night Live. So he's not that worried about it.
Yeah.
Because ICE is all over damn Saturday Night Live. But anyways, he's going to perform at the Super Bowl and do his whole thing in Spanish. And evidently, and I don't know his music for a number of reasons. A, I have taste. But B, he evidently raps about a lot of sexual stuff. You see pictures of him, and he's all the social media pictures I've seen, he wears a lot of feminine clothing. We'll just put it that way. So he's checking all the kooky dukes boxes, right? He's going to be the halftime performer. I told him, I said, I don't remember the last time I gave a crap about the halftime show. So it's not going to bother me at all because I'm going to do what I always do. I go outside, I crank some real music, we smoke a few smigs, drink a couple of beers. The next thing you know, halftime's over and you go back in. Because remember, Super Bowl halftime is long. It's like 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Doug can tell you we're never standing around watching the damn Super Bowl. We're always outside cracking jokes and go, what the hell's on TV? What are people watching over there? I didn't watch when Maroon 5 was on. I was comically interested when the old rappers got up and they were way too fat and old to be wearing stuff they were watching. That was at least interesting. And at least I knew the music, but even still, I don't remember the last time I was like, that was a good. I will say this, Lady Gaga had a really good Super Bowl show. That was almost 10 years ago. That's the last time that I remember. And that's one of the few. So who cares? But I do think it's interesting that people are mad.
Yeah. I don't care that much. I mean, it's always been the Super Bowl halftime show has always been something that if it's an artist I like, I'll be like, oh, that's cool. I'll pay attention to it. If not, I'll probably I'll be doing something else. I'll have it on in the background.
Smart.
Yeah.
So if somebody's smart, like they did back in the 90s, I remember a few times Super Bowl show because they got so comically bad. MTV was putting Beavis and Butthead on during the Super Bowl show, and you would go over there and watch it, and it would line up just where you could watch it. It would end, and then you go right back to the game.
Yeah.
Someone needs to do that, like whether it's a show or you know what. If CMT had their act together on that, put together a damn country concert for 30, 45 minutes, however long the Super Bowl halftime show is. The country fans are going to flock over there.
Oh yeah,
they're going to be like, "Whoa!"
You can do it for every genre, and by that point, there won't be anybody watching the Super Bowl.
Really stick it to the NFL.
Yeah, yeah. And look, I don't
hire Taylor Swift to do a damn concert off to the side.
Yeah.
You trying to tell me that people wouldn't just go, whoa, bad what?
Yep.
I'll be honest with you. When they started doing that, when they started talking about that he was weird and creepy and his name was Bad Bunny, I thought this was going to be like the whole furry community thing. I was like, here we go. Here we go. So when
we're not that far gone yet, at least.
I found out that he just raps in Spanish and wears women's clothing. I was like, actually, that's not as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
So, all right, we get to moving on for actual football related betting talk. The Survivor is gone. Doug lost, I won. So when you see this, so the point is we're restarting. So when you see this on the screen and you have the S super, I thought that was the best logo to use. You'll see the 1S. That means that I won the first round, and as people win, you'll gain an S. And so so we're starting over the Survivor again, which means you can pick whoever the hell you want, as long as you don't pick that team twice during this round. We go from there, and we'll take that all the way to the end of the season. So, Doug, you came in the closest to first. You were the first loser.
Okay.
I'm going to give you first go at it, sir. What do you want?
Give me the Eagles to win.
Cry, Eagles, cry. All right.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to trust the Eagles, and Doug's out by midnight tonight. Okay. Mr. Bobby, where are you going?
Yeah, I like that. I think that's a safe pick. I'm going to go in a little bit of a different direction, though. And actually, it's a little bit of a close line, but I'm going to go with the Chargers to beat the Dolphins. The Dolphins are a mess right now, frankly, and I think the Chargers are going to get back on course. I just think they're a better team. I think they're a lot more well coached, and I always think there's value in betting against a team where the coach has completely and entirely lost the locker room.
Okay, so you're going to take them. Man, I'll tell you what's tempting is Green Bay at home against Cincinnati.
It is. I always worry about picking a team that's had big personnel or coaching changes.
That's my worry. I picked Green Bay and Flacco throws for 8 touchdowns this weekend.
Exactly.
So Instead, I'm going to it's still a pretty safe pick. When I can, I like to grab a home team, and I know it's a divisional game, but they're going through player change, player personnel. I don't have to worry about Flacco throwing 8 touchdowns in this one. Give me the Pittsburgh Steelers. They are coming off the bye, and all I need is a win. I don't know if I love the spread. The spread is 7 points, 6.5 on some books, but they just got to get a win. That's all they got to do. So give me the Pittsburgh Steelers. All right, what's the next one we got? We got the stupid underdogs, baby. Where are we at? Oh, by the way, I forgot to hit the Survivor. I do have a Survivor clip. I didn't think I did. All right, here we go. Stupid underdog.
There's no need to fear.
Stupid
Underdog is here.
Stupid
Underdog.
Stupid
Underdog.
One quick programming note. There's a number of reasons why we're doing. We're trying to build the other channel to help these guys out in the show. We are going to be doing this show exclusively on Armchair QB Radio going forward, starting next week. So just so y'all know, the Braves Country Todays will still come on over here, but Armchair QB Radio and MLB Today, those are going to start going on the other channel that we're going to try to build and have this thing rocking by next season, hopefully. Yeah, I mean, maybe even quicker. The BCR channel randomly went viral one time, and that's how we got it. So that was several years ago. But once we get it, we want to try to help these guys out. So, stupid underdog picks. Hell, just had it up. Whose turn is it? It is. I guess that's Bobby. Bobby gets the first pick. He's at -3. Doug is at +3.5. They both won last week. I'm at 8.5 because I lost. And so, Bobby, what you got?
Yeah, I nearly had my Mississippi State pick last week. This week, I'm going to go with Arizona State +5.5 on the road against Utah. It's a tough matchup for them being on the road, but I think they're the better team. I trust Sam Levitt and Jordan Tyson. It's a lot of talent on that offense. I think they're a very well-coached team.
Game?
What's that?
Game time?
Oh, the game. That is. Let me see. I think it's one of the late games. I'll get it to you in just a sec. It is.
What's the line you got?
5.5 is the line.
I believe it's
the game's at 10:15 Eastern, so really late game.
And Bobby, make sure you're doing the typey thing.
Yeah, of course.
Survivor and everything else, but don't
okay.
worry about the Survivor. We're already past that one. Okay. So you're taking Arizona State?
Yeah, I'm going with Arizona State here.
To pull up the outright upset in Utah, 10-15. Doug, what you got?
I got this line has changed. I mean, at the early part of the week, USC was the underdog. Michigan, USC. I'll take Michigan, and Michigan is my underdog pick this week at +2.5.
Michigan +2.5.
Yep.
Okay. They're gonna have to give me 1 second because I think my picks were on that card that I tossed.
Uh-oh.
Talk amongst yourselves. No, I was wrong. All right, whatever.
And that is 7:30 NBC, by the way.
Man, y'all really can't carry it, can you? I say talk amongst yourselves. Y'all just sit there like
No, I was just going to say.
Okay. So I've got about 4 that I like, so y'all didn't take any of them. So let me see. Which one is the first one that we're going to go with? Which one do we like the most? Man. You know what? I am going to go with. Actually, I'm not going to pick that one because I've got to. NC State is interesting to me, by the way. They're getting 23.5 against Notre Dame. If you hit that, wow.
Yeah.
But I've got a ticket for Notre Dame to get to the playoffs, so I don't really want to go against that. Let's go to. You know what? I'm going to take the safest play. Give me Central Florida. Central Florida is a 10.5. Excuse me, a 10.5 point dog and they are, I think they're on the road, if I have that correct. Yeah, on the road at Cincinnati, and I know Cincinnati's had some big wins. They're just coming off another big win. I feel eventually they're going to start smelling themselves, and they're due for a letdown. So give me Central Florida plus it's still 10.5, and there we have that. All right. Next thing up on the docket, we will go to the National Football League. Football League 6-packs. See, we'll do these one by one. We're going to have to pick up the pace a little bit because we're going to run out of time. But anyways, Bobby, what is your first pick in the 6-pack?
Yeah, I'll fire through this quick. Bills Falcons. I'm gonna go with the over 49.5 here. I think it's gonna be a high scoring game. We know what the Bills offense is capable of. And the Falcons, outside of that game against the Panthers, they've had some pretty decently high scoring games this year. So I think these two teams combined, I think they'll be able to hit that over 49.5 mark. And it's a primetime game where we've seen a lot of high scoring affairs so far this year on primetime.
You said 49.5 is the number you're getting?
Yeah, over 49.5 total. Okay.
All right, Doug, what's your first pick?
Patriots Saints. Give me the Saints plus 3.5. I think the Saints are playing. I liked what I saw last week. I think the Patriots are smelling themselves a little bit, and I think the Saints will cover that 3.5.
Y'all don't be scared to give the game times. All right, New England minus 3.5. All right, my pick. Not going to necessarily need the game times on these because it's a parlay, but it's going to get you to the minus 108. I'm going to take Ashton Gentry of the Raiders to get 65 yards rushing or more, and couple that with Hunter Henry 25 receiving yards or more. So you need the both to get to the minus 108. I think it's very gettable. Hunter Henry is in a situation this weekend. Doug was just talking about the Saints. The Saints play a ton of zone, and they give up a ton of yards over the middle. So his number's 40. You're just trying to get to 25. I think he can get it. And as far as Gentry's concerned, Tennessee has had a very hard time stopping the run to the left, and that's where the Raiders will love to go to, and Gentry should get the volume. So there you have it.
Hopefully he won't throw it out of the back of the end zone as well.
You and me both.
Bobby, point to the doll and tell us where they hurt you.
Number 31 on the Cardinals. He hurt me.
God. So many things had to go wrong in that game, by the way, for that thing to fall apart.
And you know what's funny too is that Kyler, well, I don't even want to call it Kyler fumble, but with the snap that hit him in the face and he was dazed for a second, that didn't end up even having any effect on the game. It was just a funny mishap where Kyler wasn't ready for the snap. It hit him in the head and they recovered it. It was just, that whole game was a clown show for us, or the whole second half at least.
They were so mad on the Cardinals post game. They were ripping apart the final possession by the Cardinals right before the Titans scored.
It was weak
because they were running the ball, and I'm like, you're having a bad day when you're mad at your team for running the ball with the lead, trying to get rid of the clock.
Yeah,
that's all they're trying to do, trying to get the hell out. And they're like, "What are you doing running right here?" Like they were going off. I'm like, well, they're running because they're trying to melt the clock with the. Anyways, Bobby, what you got?
My next pick, I'm going to go with Broncos Jets, and I'm going to go with the opposite of what I did on my last pick. I'm going to go with the under here, sitting at 43.5. This is a London game, so we usually see those games look a little bit sloppy. It's early in the morning. Let's see the time exactly. It's 9:30 a.m., so early game for both teams. The Jets they're a mess. Their offense is terrible. The Broncos have a good defense. I think they'll be able to pretty easily handle the Jets offense. I think they'll keep them to a low score, and I don't think the Broncos are going to really blow them out of the water.
6.5, is that what you're taking?
No, I'm going with the under the point total at 43.5.
Okay.
Yeah.
Under 43.5. Okay, gotcha. All right. Doug, what you got?
I got the Bears and Commanders. I'm taking the Bears plus 4.5. I think the Bears have come a long way. They're coming off a bye, and I just like to see. I just can see them keeping this, just keeping the game close. Commanders. I mean, they may run a gas at the end, the Commanders, but no more than the field goal. So I'll take that plus 4.5.
What time is that game?
That's Monday night.
Okay. They got another doubleheader Monday night. Okay.
Yep.
They're so random when they do them.
Yeah.
All right. So Chicago plus 4.5.
Yep.
My second pick will be the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think the line's moved up. Yeah, it's moved up. I'm still gonna go with it. I'll take the Steelers minus 6.5. I think they should bludgeon the Browns. I got it yesterday at 5.5, so take that for a grain of salt. But nonetheless, I think that you can buy down to a good number. But I get it that it's a divisional game, but there's really no reason why this line should be as low as it is.
Yeah.
It should be above a touchdown, creeping towards 10.
Yeah.
And now you're going to have Gabriel behind center. There's not going to be Flacco.
Yep.
They're going to bring the house. And God forbid they got to go, we're going to show you. We're going to bring Shedeur Sanders. That's at least 2 pick sixes. So give me the Steelers. All right, Bobby, what you got?
My next pick, it was my survivor pick of the week. I'm going with them again for one of my lock picks. Give me the Chargers at minus 3.5. I think they're going to not only just win, but cover. The Dolphins are a mess. Tua is questionable as well. That's something to make note of. Not that he's playing any good, but if, their backup can't be any better, I would hope. So I think the Chargers are going to cover that. I know they're on the road, so that makes it a little iffy. But I think they're going to get this one done. I think they're a considerably better team, and they're a much better coached team as well.
All right,
that's a 1 o'clock game as well.
Chargers minus 3.5. I looked at that one.
Yeah.
I have a hard time. There was a couple of years ago where the Chargers went to the Dolphins, and the Chargers felt like the much better team. It may have been last year.
The Chargers have a lot of those games where they should be the better team on the road. They get smoked.
They go east. One of my favorite things that I've done in sports betting for years is always you go against the favorite from the West Coast going to the East Coast on early kickoff, and they always seem to play into that narrative. But the Dolphins are just so bad. I understand.
They are a mess. Yeah, it's hard to have any faith in them.
Doug, what you got?
My third one, I got Kansas City and Detroit. To me, with Detroit, I know everybody thinks they're a power team. Like on a lot of people's power rankings, they're number one. But if you look at who they played, they haven't really played any really strong teams. Not to say that Kansas City is. I think this is a trap game. Give me Kansas City on the money line.
How about them Jaguars?
I know, but I just think with Kansas City, because if they lose this week, their season that's the first true nail in their season. So I think Kansas City's back against the wall, kind of like Florida last week, So yeah, just give me Kansas City on the money line. I know they are favored, and I do believe they're going to win this game.
What's the number you're getting on the money line?
135.
Is it really that low?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
2.5 in the NFL?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's why I saw it. I was like, okay, I'll take that.
That's crazy. Almost sounds like a trap.
Mm.
Anytime run in, the water's fine.
That's too good to be true.
My final pick is going to be in the NFL is going to be. I wonder if you can get that. 135 on a Hard Rock too. Wow. Typically,
it really is a trap.
Typically, they try to mow you with. You take minus 2.5 in the NFL. It's normally like minus 180 on the money line. It's crazy. My final pick. I am doing a teaser. I'm taking the New York Giants plus 13.5 tonight. I actually like the Giants on the spread at 7.5 tonight. I don't think they're going to upset the Eagles, but it's in New York. Jackson Dart. Eagles do not look eagle-ish. I can tell you that right now. There's a lot of cracks in that armor, and I think the Giants can keep it close enough. And then I'm going to follow that up with one of Bobby's favorite teams, the Indianapolis Colts. They got, if you take them on the, I do think the Cardinals are going to make this a game, but I just need a 1.5 point win on this. And after that loss, we're going to find out what the locker room is made of. We're going to find out what Gannon's made of as a coach, because there's going to be a lot of pushback.
I think it'll be hugely reflective of how Gannon can rally this team if he can.
And I just believe that Indianapolis is extremely underrated.
Yeah.
Bobby and I were way off in the preseason.
Yeah.
We were telling you to hammer the under on their wins. I will tell you I'm the first person to tell you Bobby was wrong as hell.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
I mean, we were way off,
Yeah.
man. Way off. And so this team, Daniel Jones, I don't like the Colts. Never liked the Colts. They're in the Titans division. And I am a semi-Jaguar fan. They're in the Jaguars division too. But there's something that's very rootable for me with Daniel Jones, because he got kicked out of New York. New York's doing fine without him. They'll be fine with Jackson Dart. But I like Daniel Jones' story, and give me the Colts. All right, we go to the world of college football. Hey, college football. By the way, I guess I should put these numbers back up again. Here we are in the 6-pack of picks. Locks. We gave Doug his lock pick back. He went to the council and lobby for. I'll tell you what happened. So I went back and listened to the whole thing, and I was going to record it and play it, but I just haven't had time this week. What happened was Doug was very vague about his pick. No. You were. You said, so the question was between Washington and Washington State. And you mentioned Washington, but you said, I'm going to take the points, okay, which Washington State would be taking the points. Then I read back, okay, so you're taking Washington State in the 23.5 or whatever the number was, and you didn't argue it back, but I'm sure what you heard was you're taking Washington against that. I was saying Washington State with it. So I understood where you were coming from, but you were extremely vague, Your Honor. We almost got it. I went ahead and gave you anyone. I told him, I said, if nothing else, you get an A for effort. So
yes, you did.
Lobbied it. So
congrats on the success.
Now we're gonna have Bobby put him in the chat, so we're gonna know that's gonna be the end all the beats all. So if you say one thing and I hear the other, at least we know what Bobby put on the screen, and it's right in front of you on the screen, Doug, so you know what was actually put on there. So all right. All that being said, Doug, what's your first college football pick?
Florida and Texas A&M, 7:00 on ESPN. I'm taking Florida in the +7.5. I do not understand, and we've been through 6-7 weeks of college football. Florida has a good defense. They won last week with a defense that had injuries on it. Florida's defense will keep them in this game against Texas A&M. If they lose, they'll be gaslit. Maybe Texas A&M will escape with a field goal. But take Florida in the 7.5.
What are your thoughts on that over under 46.5? Is that too high, too low?
I think it's too low. I think there'll be points scored in this game.
That's it. That to me. I don't know where that's coming from. I'm hearing an alarm, and I'm checking all my damn phones or whatever. I don't know if y'all can hear the same thing. It's very faint somewhere. I'm almost thinking that my wife left her phone behind. But anyways, you see me looking around, going like I'm losing my mind. I'm literally losing my mind. Like I had very little sleep this week, and I'm hearing alarms in the background. All right, Bobby, what you got?
My first college football pick. I'm going to the Red River rivalry. I'm going with Oklahoma.
Hey, that's 3 times fast.
I know. I almost stumbled there. I think I did a decent job. I'm going to go with Oklahoma on the money line. It's sitting at -110. It's not too far off from if you just took them to cover, so might as well just take them on the money line. I think the trend's going to continue about Arch continuing to struggle in big games against opponents that are up for the job. I thought they would even in the swamp. I thought they would get a win last week against Florida. They didn't, and he really struggled. I think that's going to carry over to this week as well. So give me Oklahoma money line at -110. They're a really good team, and I think they're going to beat them.
Yeah, they're -1.5, and you can get it depends on what book you're on. You know what's crazy? I was looking at this last night because I'll go ahead and do a spoiler alert and double down with Bobby. I'm taking Oklahoma on the money line, but they're a +1.5 on Hard Rock, which means some Texas money came in on the Hard Rock. And I don't know if that's just Florida or if that's across the board. I believe they shared the same book. Yeah. So some money came in, and we all know there's a lot of damn oil money in Texas and Oklahoma. Somebody got drunk and threw some money down. But I'm with you. I just don't believe that Texas is any good. I don't think they didn't look good in their loss against Ohio State. Ohio State beat them soundly, but it was by a modest score because they kept the game very conservative because it was the first game of the year.
Yeah.
Florida, that game was not as close as the number one in-state.
No.
No,
and
it wasn't.
They're going to go play Oklahoma in the Cotton Bowl, and I just don't see it, man. I don't know. People are ate up with the Manning name. If his name was anything else, they'd be like, God,
he'd be benched by now, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only guy he can start over in college football right now is probably Nick Castellanos and his hero ball throwing.
Yeah, and half that stadium is going to be on fire. That Oklahoma crowd.
Castellanos throwing 50-yard chucks down the field when there's a tight end wide open, 15 yards in front of the first down. You're like, what are you doing, man? What are you freaking doing? You talk about a running back with a strong arm. That's all Florida State's got behind center right now. I'm telling you. Doug, what is your?
I think your pick's next.
Yep, I'm going to triple down on what you all just got done saying. I got OU on the money line as well. I swear. Yeah, let's make it unanimous. Has anybody watched OU's defense play this year? It's
if this show has taught us anything, take Texas. We are missing something, man. We're all.
Yeah, I'm just looking at that OU defense. Man, it is an elite defense, and why after what we just saw out of Texas last week, like all of a sudden Texas is gonna play like they were. Like we thought they would play in the preseason. Now, this is where Texas is finished for the season and fades away.
Bobby, what's your pick?
My pick, my second one, I'm going with LSU -9.5 against South Carolina. They're playing at home in this one. That's a tough environment for any team to go into play at night in Death Valley.
Again, huh?
What?
You're gonna get burned by LSU again, huh?
I suppose, but I'm buying into how hard that team is to play in Death Valley at night. South Carolina, they're not terribly good. LSU, I think they're a good team. I think this is going to be a tough one for South Carolina. And we've seen them get beat down pretty bad in some games before. I mean, Vanderbilt smoked them this year. So I think if Vanderbilt's able to do it, LSU should be able to too. Missouri also nearly covered that 9.5 point difference. They beat them by 9. So I think if those two teams are able to do it, especially Vandy on the road, I think LSU at home at night, that's going to be a rough environment. I think they're going to get that one done and cover.
My second pick, as down as I am on them, I just think they're going to bounce back. They're at home, in front of the home crowd. They're going to have a need to put some points on the board. Give me the first half of the Florida State-Pittsburgh game. Now, the total game is 10.5. Give me the first half at 6.5. And I think they'll have a touchdown lead going into halftime. If they don't, Nick Castellanos is getting benched because they're not going to sit around and watch him just totally piss away the season. Florida State, they're still in the conversation to get to the ACC championship game. And if they can do that, that's all they need. And they can punch their ticket to the playoffs. I don't think a large bid is on the table anymore. But I do think that they can still work their way back into the ACC title game. All they need is some losses by Virginia to leapfrog them, and they'll be okay. So give me FSU -6.5 in the first half. I think that takes us to Doug. What you got?
I'm going to finish up where I started with my underdog pick. I'm still taking Michigan. I'm still taking Michigan that +2.5. I'm doubling down on that.
Man, I was wrong about them preseason too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty good football team. That's a fun one. What is that, a night game?
Yes.
Gotta be, right?
Yep.
I'm assuming it's like 7:30 or something like that.
Yep, 7:30.
NBC 7:30. That's all the pageantry right there. It's weird that it's a conference game nowadays, but Michigan USC.
Yeah.
That's a fun one. Bobby, what you got?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with similar route as Doug here. I'm gonna go with my stupid underdog pick as my last 6-pack pick. Give me ASU plus 5.5 against Utah at 10-15. Like I said, I trust that firepower that they have on offense between Sam Levitt and Jordan Tyson. It's a really good duo, and I trust a really well coached team in my opinion in Arizona State. Hopefully, a coach that I would like to see in Florida in due time. So, yeah, give me Arizona State plus 5.5.
All right, so we're gonna go to the Big Ten, and right now the line's 7.5, but you can buy it up 2 points, and this is very strange. You can buy it up 2 points and still stay under the minus 150 number by a lot. If you take it to 10.5, all of a sudden it shoots past you. You can't do it. So give me the plus 9.5 in the Indiana Hoosiers at Oregon. I just think that's going to be a close ball game. I think Indiana's kind of getting underrated a little bit. And look, a lot of it probably has to do with the fact that they squeaked one out against Iowa. And a lot of people are still remembering the team from last year, but this Indiana team should put some points on the board. I don't think they're going to beat Oregon, but you're going to give me points in the pocket. I think it's going to be a close enough game where at the end, Oregon is going to be trying to kneel on the ball and not just running a normal offense. And that's the big difference to me. Give me the Hoosiers plus 9.5 on the road. It's a tough one, but I like it. That's a 3:30 game. All right. What is the next thing on our docket as we start to wind down this? We've done that. Let's go into our locks. Bobby, what is your lock of the day?
My lock of the week, give me the Sooners on the money line at minus 110, 330. Red River rivalry. There we go. I don't know. We'll see. I think we'll see Arch have a tough outing again against a solid opponent, and I think Oklahoma's a really, really good team. I don't think they're getting enough respect on this spread here. I think they should be a decent favorite. I think they should be at least 4.5, in my opinion. I think they're a much better team.
Doug, what say you?
I got another Texas team that I think doesn't get as much respect as it should. Give me Texas Tech to beat Kansas and cover that 14.5 spread. I never understood. Texas Tech is a really good football team, and they're still not getting that respect. So they're better than Texas. They're better than the Longhorns. I'll give you that much.
What are you saying? Say that again.
Oh, I was just talking about Texas Tech. I don't think they. I think
it
should be
What line did you say?
14.5. They're to cover 14.5 points against Kansas.
Okay, see, that's where you screw me up because you start saying getting. And getting is not no. They're giving up 14.5.
Oh, all right. I'll make sure for now on. Sorry.
This is Washington. It's the Apple Cup all over again.
Hey, I got it in chat though.
I understand.
There you go.
I understand that, but this is the Apple Cup all over again.
Oh.
All right.
We got it certified. It's right there.
Yep.
No, something certifiable. Let me tell you something. My lock, I don't have a lock written down. I thought I did everything. So let me go to, you know what? Normally I do my locks in college, but I'm going to go to the NFL. No, you know what? I'm staying in college. The lock to me for the day, I'm going to piggyback Bobby. OU, give me OU, man. That just
there we go.
We might be wildly wrong on this, but I just don't see how the hell Oklahoma is anything close to a pick'em underdog favorite all by 1 point. I just don't see it.
I mean, maybe the sports books are thinking it's a home game for Texas because that's how it's listed, but the stadium's going to be half and half. So I don't get it. It's bizarre.
No, and I mean it's a true neutral site.
Yeah,
you'll have
you're gonna have half the stadium orange, half the stadium red,
and that's been going on for years. I mean, it's exactly like the Florida Georgia game. Yes, it's technically in Jacksonville, but it's right there on the border.
Yeah.
So you've got a ton of Georgia fans.
Mm-hmm.
When is that? That should be coming up in a few weeks. The Florida Georgia, is that Halloween weekend or is it the November 1st? Probably somewhere in that neighborhood.
Yeah, I believe so.
All right. Cool games. Bobby, what's your cool game?
My cool game, I'm going to go with Indiana versus Oregon. I think I'm going with what you said earlier. I agree that Indiana's not getting enough love. I think they're an underrated team. I think they're a legit top dog in college football this year, and Oregon as well, no doubt about them. They're one of the best teams in college football. I think it's going to be a heavyweight matchup in the Big Ten. I think it's going to be a fun game.
John's calling it Apple Cut Gate.
Apple Cut Gate. Oh my gosh.
Doug, what is your cool game of the weekend?
Oh, the OU Texas game. I love when somebody seasons on the line playing in the Cotton Bowl. So
I'm picking the game that I'm looking forward to probably the most, and it's really just because of our preseason talk. Whether it was Bobby and me or maybe it was me and Doug, I can't remember at this point. But Illinois, everybody knows I'm kind of on the Illinois bandwagon. I think Illinois can get to their win total. They probably don't win this weekend, but Illinois hosting Ohio State, I was so close to taking that as my stupid underdog. And I really want to see this game. I want to see can Illinois, I know they got destroyed by Indiana, but I think they can figure some things out, keep this game a little nip and tuck. They're getting 14.5, by the way. I don't hate that line at all for Illinois at home.
Yeah.
But I'm interested about this game. The Alabama-Missouri one's intriguing, but really for that game to be bigger, Missouri's going to have to beat someone. And so the Alabama-Missouri game can't be the cool game. Missouri's going to have to beat Alabama and then have a cool game down the road, if that makes sense. But anyways, one big thing, Bobby, as we walk it off, what you got?
We'll talk about that team right there. I said 2 weeks ago on our show before the Thursday night game against Seattle that if they look as bad as they did the week before, that Jonathan Gannon's seat would start getting hot. It is on fire now after that epic collapse against Tennessee. They got a lot to get right this week against Indianapolis. And contrary to what we thought at the beginning of the year, the Colts are a good team. So they've got their work cut out for them. We're going to see what Jonathan Gannon, Kyler Murray, all the leaders on that team are made of.
Doug, which one big things we walk it off?
Last week, I was working a lot in Gainesville, and the rumor mill and the thoughts are that the booster clubs in Gainesville have come up with enough money to buy out Billy Napier's contract. So if they fall apart this week, give him the cash and send him on his way.
They come up with that money, but then he goes out and beats Texas.
They're holding it. They're just waiting for the first screw up.
Yep.
That poverty franchise is never going to figure it out. My one big thing is we're going to have carnage this week in the top 15. I'm telling you right now, 5 or 6 teams are falling. You've got too many matchups where there's too many teams are going to be smelling themselves. You're going to have the obvious where Oregon and Indiana, someone's got to lose, but there's going to be losses that you don't see coming that is going to flip flop the top 12, top 15, and keep an eye on the Michigan game. Keep an eye on Missouri, Alabama. Keep an eye on LSU. Keep an eye on Georgia. Keep an eye on, I don't think Texas Tech will fall, but keep an eye on Texas A&M.
Yeah.
Bobby's worst nightmare. Billy Napier wins enough games to keep the ball rolling to next year.
And I can still see it happening, too.
Let's run it back! You're going to be like me at the end. You're like, I swear to God, if Brian Snicker wins one more game, he's going to think about coming back. Can't have
Seriously.
it. Great job, y'all. Remember, next week we're going to be on Armchair QB Radio going forward, and we'll see you next time. Apple Cup.
Goodbye, sweetheart. Well, it's time to go. We're back tomorrow with another show. Well, unless we're fired, we'll talk to
Goodbye, sweetheart. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Guys and gals, it's time to go. We'll see you on the next show.
Same bat time, same bat channel.
It's closing time, y'all. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. Have a great one. On your way out, please like and subscribe, and don't forget to tip your favorite bartender. We'll see you. I'm Magee, signing off for Braves Country Radio.